We're live? Are we live? We're live! Awesome, guys. What's going on? Nam Ratna, Go Get It Real Estate Team, GGI Live, episode number 41. Super excited to be here, and as always, very, very grateful. Because remember, dreams are big, but taking action is bigger, way, way bigger. So whatever you're doing out there, you're reading, you're educating yourself, make sure you're taking massive action, okay? So I'm here today, coming out of the Go Get It offices, episode 41, and this is an important topic, 3 tips to manage your contractors. Okay, so we're talking about, again, Go Get It real estate, zero money down real estate, okay? Buying rentals, doing flips, whatever you're thinking about doing, there's a way to do it if you don't have any capital. But you have to develop certain skills, and that's what we teach here at Go Get It. It's what we do as a company. And it's what we talk about at our monthly events and our 2-day seminars and things like that, okay? So managing contractors, regardless if you're going to be doing rentals or flips, you're going to always be managing contractors. And I've heard so many headaches, nightmare stories about, going to court because you've had guys and investors have issues with contractors leaving jobs and paying them and not getting work done and doing the wrong type of work and shitty work and just whatever it may be, right? We haven't had those issues because we put in certain fundamental systems and processes in place along with certain core values that we operate, so we make sure we attract the right type of people, okay? So let's dive into these 3 tips. Tip number 1, when you're managing contractors, okay, you have to have a system in place. So you have to have a system to hire the right type of person. Okay, you can't just go out there and just be like, okay, I'll take you, you're the cheapest work, I'll take you, right? You need to look at yourself and you as a company, your partners and everything like that, what are your core values? What type of people and community are you trying to build? What kind of relationships are you trying to build, right? Honesty, integrity, transparency, passion, peak attitude, work your tail. Those are some of our core values that we use and it's important to us, and we illustrate that to new potential hires, right? So when it's contractors, we illustrate that to them saying, hey, this is how we operate. What does that mean to you? Do you have similar core values? Are you like that, right? So, and then we have a list of questions, whole slew of questions that we ask people over the phone and then eventually in person to make sure that we're qualifying our contractors. Okay, certain things like, do you have liability insurance, references, go see their previous work, go to their current job sites, talk to people that they've worked for in the past, were they professional, did they hold themselves accountable for any mistakes that happen, things like that, okay? So you need to have, tip number 1, a system to hire contractors, the right type of people, right? Tip number 2. Tip number 2 is how you set yourself up for the particular project. So you need to have walkthroughs before you actually have a contractor come through. So what I teach our students is we position ourselves in a certain way that we have walkthroughs before the actual possession date. It's not a condition that we put in there, but it's a way that we've added in our contracts, and you can find out how. You can talk to me or get to know us, come to our events. But we put it in there so we have 2, sometimes 3 walkthroughs before the actual possession date. So on the first walkthrough, we go in, we ringing, sorry about that. You can put it on silent if you want. And I was talking about walkthroughs, right? So what you want to do is do a walkthrough. So on the first walkthrough, you're going through yourself and creating a scope of work, which we'll talk about, right? Then you're going to have your contractors come in and bid on that specific scope of work. So you do that before possession day, because when possession day comes, instead of ordering the kitchen or getting the scope of work ready or getting the quotes from your contractors and all this and that, you've already done all that before possession day. So when possession day comes, boom, you just hit the ground running. Supplies are ordered, contractors know exactly what they're doing. So you're just moving, and that's good for you, and that's good for your investors involved as well. Right? So that's tip number 2. Set up walkthroughs before possession date. Okay? Tip number 3 is having a payment plan in place and having that decided and that expectation articulated to your contractor beforehand. I've heard so many stories of people paying their contractors before work is even done, paying their contractors in full before even doing a final walkthrough. It's not smart to do that. The way we operate is we give a certain amount up front so they can go buy the material that we picked out and they can go pick it up and buy it and get started. And then we set up payment plans after that, after milestones have been hit. So this amount of work has been done, you're going to get this payment 2 weeks from now. This amount of work done in 2 weeks, here's another payment, and then so on and so forth. So you need to set that expectation up, and then before the actual project is done, you never give them a final payment until you've done final walkthrough of the actual property. Because there's always going to be things done. If you pay them, they're never going to come back, right? So make sure you have a proper payment in plan. So that's 3 tips. Tip number 1, have a hiring system. Hire the right type of people. Tip number 2, walkthroughs before possession. Tip number 3 is make sure you have a payment plan. And I'm going to give you a bonus tip because we always like to give more value here, okay? The bonus tip is you should have a scope of work. Now, not a lot of people teach this, and we know that's something that differentiates ourselves, we truly believe, is having a proper detailed scope of work. You don't want to be going back and forth to the project. You don't want to be dealing with all these phone calls and saying, he said this, you said that, blah, 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 blah. We set up a scope of work. So those of you that you can see this is our scope of work for one of the projects that we got going on right now. It's so detailed. It's like, I believe it's about 30, 40 pages. And it has even the door handles that we're going to be using, okay, with the material number and everything like that. So the contractors know exactly what's being done, the materials and everything like that. One is held by us, one is at the site, and one the GC has it. So there's never any issues or conflict. And if there is, instead of going back, you said this, I said this, blah, 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 we just go right to the scope of work, problem taken care of right away, right? And there's been many times where this has helped us, and we do 8 projects at a time sometimes, and this keeps us extremely organized, okay? So have a scope of work, a system to keep your work organized so everyone knows exactly what's being done. If you want to learn more, you want to learn how to get this scope of work, okay? All our students get templates of all this, all people who join our training program and things like that. Come to our monthly event. Our last monthly event was packed with knowledge, talked about the 5 pillars of zero money down real estate. We're going to talk about another pillar. We talked about the first pillar, which was how to find discounted properties. We're going to dive into another pillar, and it's going to focus on raising capital. Okay, so if you want to learn more, I highly recommend you click the link, register for the event, find out how you can win this, and find out how you can get 1 year free membership to our Go Get It Club. Okay, there's a way to do it. Come down May 23rd. If you got value from today's episode, guys, if you have more questions, comment below, direct message me. You know I'm always approachable, but I hope you take these tips and you go take action, and I want to see everyone at the Go Get It event May 23rd. But that's it. That's all the tips. I'm coming at you. Go take action, because remember, dreams are big, but taking action is way bigger. So go get it, guys.